What's up, y'all? What's going on? Give me just a couple of moments here to get some things dialed in, and we will get this rolling. So there was an update this morning. What up, Maid Lilith? How you doing? Long time no see. There was an update this morning, and it fixed, or it didn't fix, but it made it so that corgis were dropping now at a higher percentage. One of the Well, that one, or yeah, well, that one's an example. The number of upgrades was locked at 306 as the cap. They could roll lower than that, but they couldn't roll higher than that. So I'm going to go try to get me some corgis today. We will see how this fares. I have been doing a few different maps to try to get them. Foundries and Forges is always a go-to farm map. Plus, it drops all of the different fusion gear items from the various acts, so you don't have to worry about like targeting a specific item. Now, the bad part about that is it's general drops, so if you're looking for a specific item, your chances of getting it, RNG hates us all, right? But I've been doing that one. Ancient Mines is one of the easier go-to maps, and the benefit of farming corgis there is you're also going to get golden rocks or golden mistamine pets, which is another one where you find a really crazy supreme one. It's going to change some characters for you, there's no doubt. And then the third place is Magus Quarters. Aramir showed me a build here last night. I changed it a little bit, but Magus Quarter seems to be a pretty smooth, chill farm spot. So let's start off there. Generally, what I do is we want it on Dune Eater difficulty, of course. I go to wave 346. See, I don't have much higher unlocked on this one. I think I got 370 unlocked. I go to 346 and I'll let it run until the waves take more than like 6 minutes. If the waves are taking 6 minutes, in my opinion, you're pushing the point of it's going to be better just to reset. So this is what I've been doing. And once again, shout out to Aramir for showing me the build. I did change his build a little. But basically, we're going to be starting off, we're going to use a root, some spiders. This is my heat cannon guy, but he's just there for the buff beams. We're going to use fused electric and snare auras and unfused enrages. We're going to use fused gas traps and explosive traps. And then we're going to use fused owls. I finally broke down, and I don't really have a really dialed in set of gear for any of the item or any of the defenses that got hero slot or changes to what slot they were in, which is a bit of a bummer because like before the game, granted it was predominantly or very heavily focused on guard gear. A lot of the key defenses were guard gear. So over the thousands of hours, I of course have farmed a shitload of guard gear. But now, with the slot changes, that has moved over to minor gear. And I had very few sets of minor gear ready to go. Just because, they were for just a few specific defenses. But anyway, we're going to start building, and the first thing we're going to do is throw down a siren for the rune. Now, the siren is just here for the bubble. I'm using an unfused siren. I'm not counting on any of the DPS from the siren or whatever. And we just want to get it moved as close to the front of the core as possible. Now, I started off doing in behind the core, but I changed it around a little bit because this is basically going to be our weakest lane. And with that in mind, ogre spawns on this lane were pushing in really close and quite often destroying my owls I had set up here. So I changed it around and started putting the owls on the backside instead for that lane. But anyway, we want to divide our R and trap stacks into 2 stacks, basically. You completely restarted because you forgot how to play? Nothing wrong with that. And how we want to divide these is things we want to get a striking gemstone on and things we don't want to get a striking gemstone on. So we want a striking gemstone on an ensnare aura. We want it on an electric aura. In addition to that, we also want it on an explosive trap. And we want it on a root. Now, what about the things we don't want the striking on? Well, I'm just going to move them over a little bit. That way I can easily hit the correct ones. And that's basically going to be gas trap. I want my gas trap to be more of a last resort. So we're going to go with it, like, say, right about there. And then an enrage aura. I don't want the enrage aura covering the whole map. I want it to be a little smaller. So we see now, once we get the striking on, we can see if we come up here and stand next to our root, we got a small gas trap, we've got a big explosive trap, we've got a big ensnare aura and electric aura, and then the root is actually going all the way out there as well. So we've got a huge root. What we've got that's small is, you see the enraged aura right there, and then the gas trap. So we're basically done with this lane, shy of a buff beam. Alright, now we're going to owl it up. So I usually do two different stacks. One stack with 3 owls, and then another stack with 2 owls and a spider. So we're going to go 3 owls. We're going to get it buffed. Then we're going to go with a spider. Make sure I put that outside of the buff beam range. And then 2 owls. Owls are just crazy good. I mean, they've always been crazy good. The thing to do if you restart is restart for fun, but keep your old save file. Don't throw away your old save file. That way, if you ever decide that you want to go back to it, it will be there and available for you. You know? And then we're going to do the same exact thing over here. So we got 3 owls. With a buff beam. And we got a spider. You don't get attached to your saves? Yeah, but you probably have a lot of grind time into it, is the thing. So, I mean, it never hurts to keep it. Keep the save file just in case you ever want to go back. You know? All right. So we got the basics of the build set up. We do want to do a couple more things. We're going to throw another spider right here in the front. Let's just put it right there. We don't need to buff that. And then we got 12 DU left. So we're going to put 3 more owls on the backside. Now, these owls I originally was putting up front here. But like I said, they every now and then they would get slapped. So I'm trying to avoid the owl slapping, you know? Oh, there's cross save. Well, you probably did that before, but there is cross saves now. you can't go back. Like, this update is only on PC. So you can't, like, take the cross-save back over to consoles or it'll just be corrupt. Yeah, 50 hours is not too bad for sure. I was thinking you probably had like 1,000 hours or whatever into your save. I think a lot of people will end up probably swapping over because, I mean, they want to get these updates out to consoles. But if they can, and that's a if, it's going to be a while. It's not going to be anytime soon. Just get all these upgrades slammed in. You sold your Xbox and not going to buy a new one? Fair enough. It's always a tough call on picking your platform because the cost on things is so absurd these days. And, you know, for what you get, even with the new, you know, I know they just jacked all their prices, or like Xbox did. But even with the new price structures, you know, you compare that to what you would get out of a PC, and it's, you know, consoles are pretty decent value, really, overall. All right, so you just got a new PC? Well, yeah, I mean, you just got a new PC. You got to put that thing to work, right? So we want to get up here. I'm just going to stand on the root, go into Overlord mode, and double check. So I've got the explosive trap range. Actually, I'm not on my explosive. Or yeah, I am. My explosive trap is coming right to the edge of the enrage aura. We see my electric and ensnare is way out there, and then my root is way out there. So I've got everything buffed where I want it. So we basically just chillax it out until wave 350 and get our first Corgi. Now, this is the first time I've done this run solo. I've been playing with some friends that have dipped back in the game the last few nights. So we'll have to see how it holds up solo. Of course, playing with a group, we got more summoners with more gemstones buffing things. It's minor gear. It's slot 4, or the minor gear. There, Brian. The bad part about farming these things is the waves feel like they run so damn slow. Which, I mean, you know, 346 Dune Eater difficulty. It's gonna run a little slow. Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were Merkham. YouTube uses the government name. Oh yeah. Me personally, I've got like 700 unlocked on Foundries and Forges. I think I might have that unlocked on the gates too. But I mean, as far as the game allows, you can go as high as you want, or as high as you can. I mean, I'm sure there's people like plenty of legit players that have over 1,000 unlocked. I remember when Aramir farmed. Sorry, I had to adjust the mic. Aramir farmed to 1,000 on Ancient Mines when the Endless first came out. But yeah, it's unlimited. Of course, you're going to get to a point where it's just the game difficulty is so high. You have to measure, you know, you're going to have to be like stacking every bit of crowd control in the game, etc. And then the waves are going to take forever. So you have to kind of decide how long you want to do that for, because it gets super grindy. Normally, for just quality of life, like what I decided on this map, is when I go over the 6-minute mark, where it takes more than 6 minutes for one wave to run, I'm just going to restart. Wave 1000 was much, much, much harder back then. Oh, yeah. You hope they fix the arcing shot type on the temple weapons. I saw a bunch of people talking about those. I never really saved any good temple weapons. I haven't farmed any of the new ones yet, because I've got pretty decent weapons now. To do any comparisons, I need to do that at some point. Oh, the enemies keep scaling. So yeah, I mean, like I said, eventually you'll just... I mean, there will be a fail point for anyone, but theoretically it could go unlimited. What's up, Millsy? Sorry to confuse y'all. I am on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, I never farmed them because they were awful. That's the problem with me, is I never really kept... I mean, I kept a few for the skins, like on builders. But, I mean, I've done that map a million times. But I didn't keep many of those items, just because they were terrible, you know? Well, I mean, you are already accustomed to Dungeon Defender's flavored grind, Millsy. So for you, it's not going to take long, and you're going to be in endgame, doing endgame farming. A few days. I mean, you already understand the level of grind associated with a Dungeon Defender's game. You'll get there, Pure. I mean, you're going to keep going up and up and up, you know? I don't know if you saw, Aramir, but I moved those middle owls behind the core and put the siren in front of the core. And that took away that ogre slap issue on that front lane. It does suck to switch the gear around. I mean, I've been very vocal about that. I think that's one of the worst decisions they made with the community development team updates. But on the same note, I'm grateful the game, you know, the game is done. The game was done, and Chromatic allowed the CDT to start, or to be a thing. So once again, our choices, I keep saying it at every stream, but our choices were get something or get nothing. So even if we don't agree 100% with the changes they've made, which I personally do not agree with the moving around of defenses, I would still rather have something than nothing, you know? Alright, come on, you stupid corgi. Hopefully I get a fatty. I was playing in a 3-player group last night, and I was one of the, I was 2 of the 3 players. Actually, we were in a 4-player group for a while, and I was 2 of the 4 players. I was dual boxing on my account and my wife's account, which, you know, I call it my wife's account, but it was my wife's account for about 60 minutes the first day the game launched, and she got over it, and I basically just took her account. And of course, right now the corgis are not tradable, or at least they weren't. I'm assuming they still are not. And the best corgi that dropped out of all 4 of us last night was on my wife's account, which I don't really play, she doesn't really play, and the corgis can't be traded. Big bummer. That's how it always works, though. My wife was the first out of the family. It's too soon to tell. Doubt. It's the beginning of the community development team. You know, if you look back to the very beginning of the Dungeon Defenders 1 community development team, you know, it was like a who knows situation. The Dungeon Defenders 1 community development team saved the game. They turned it into what it is today, and have done crazy amounts of work to it over the last decade, or however long they've been doing it. So the hope is it turns into something as successful as DD1's version. But this is, you know, like I said, this is the beginning. So it's too soon to say. I'd love to say these guys are going to fix everything and make it the best game in the world. But let's be honest, it's too soon to say. You know, it's right now it's 2 people. Well, the thing with the DD1 team that made it a little bit easier is DD1 had that Steam Workshop support and the DDK, the Dungeon Defenders Development Kit, or the DDDK, the Dungeon Defenders Development Kit, which you could download directly through Unreal. That allowed people to play with mod support in open mode, and then the people that got good at it ended up transitioning over. But they also had a lot of other things, like, you know, shout out to Gigazel. For those of you who know Gigazel, Gigazel is an actual 3D modeler. Like a real 3D modeler, not a hobbyist. So, I mean, they had things like professional artists that joined the CDT and stuff like that, and, you know, that's huge. So, I mean, these 2 guys are dedicated to doing lots of things to the game, but it's going to come long term to how much help they end up getting. You know, how much can 2 people get done when they're, you know, learning how to adjust and toy with someone else's or something that they didn't create to begin with. So, I mean, I'm optimistic, but I'm also a realist. Hopefully they're going to be able to do all the things they want to do, plus much, much, much more. But at this state, it's too early. It's too soon to tell. What it is doing, I mean, for right now, I mean, I've been going to bed thinking about Dungeon Defenders Awakened, you know, and it's been a long time since that happened. So it's given me a little bit of fun and a way to jump back in and enjoy some time in the game. And I'll take it, you know. I will take it. I'm a big believer in entertainment value per dollar spent on something, no matter what it is, a video game or going to the movies or whatever. Have you gotten any good ones yet, Aswarland? This is my first run since the update, so I've only got the 306s. I haven't seen anything else yet. I tell you what, though, with the, once again, I'll complain about it one more time, the whole moving slots around. My stats are not, I mean, I've got some heroes getting in pretty good shape, particularly now with the Corgis, but my stats are not what you think it'd be for someone with, how many hours do I have now? I'm up to 3,984 hours as of right this second. You'd think my stats would be a whole hell of a lot better for 3,984 hours. And a big part of that is the whole moving things around. Well, I think the deal now is it's done, and they're not going to roll it back. I actually thought the second they put that out, I thought they should have rolled it back. And DDA is getting, you know, obviously its number of players, although still extremely small, has like quadrupled over the last week or so. But if you say there's 80 people online, I can tell you right now, I've had 80 people that told me they're not going to bother jumping back into the game because of that, moving it around. More than 80 people. Through either DMs or YouTube comments or Twitter messages or whatever. So I feel like it was a mistake. I'm not going to lie about it. But once again, I'll roll it back around to the very first thing. Well, see, the thing is they actually hurt the new player experience and not help it. The new player experience should be... what's up, Rex? How you doing? The new player experience should be... one of the super cool things that was added into the Dungeon Defenders universe with Dungeon Defenders 2 is the 4-player hero deck. Dungeon Defenders Awakened, pardon me for my bullshit marketing fake advertisement voice. Dungeon Defenders Awakened has taken that to a whole new level, and now we have 6 heroes available in deck. So it doesn't matter if the Guardian doesn't get Owls unlocked until level 7. It really doesn't, because you got 6 heroes to play with. The best builds are going to be utilizing all 6 of these slots. So in my personal experience, or in my personal opinion, it hurt the new player experience. It didn't help it. Anyway, I'll quit ranting. My opinion has been made clear. I do think that was a mistake. I do think that should have been rolled back, but I'm still glad we got an update. And I'm glad we got something, because we weren't going to get anything if these guys didn't jump in and get it done. It has created a problem with minor gear, and it's a big reason why a bunch of my defenses have taken 2,000, 3,000 drop in power stat. Because before, the game was all about guard gear. Now the game is all about minor gear. Well, I think part of it is just having the ability to use the PTR. I don't think they had the ability to use it before. So, I mean, I think that the PTR is a good thing. I agree 100%. But I think it was more a matter of they didn't have, you know, maybe even have the ability to use a PTR before. But, I mean, as it goes, they're going to get better and better and better at all of the stuff as far as, like, getting the builds functioning on Steam and all that. It's all going to be a learning experience. They're going to get better. I will double check, Shazoo, but I think they're on strong. Let me double check after this wave here. Yeah. Runes dropping is a big deal, particularly for people that restarted. I'm just sitting here mashing the F button like every 3 seconds, even though I can only use the ability like every 8. No macro involved with my semi-AFK-ness. I am button mashing. $350 is where the EdE Corgi drops, Rex. It's one of the new builder pets, so that is what I am specifically looking for. I've gotten some runes from auto-looting the chest. The problem is not that. The problem is runes aren't dropping on the ground from mobs. And the chest drops have never been a great source of getting runes. Like, you always got your... Well, I mean, I don't want to say always, because you did get some stuff. The prom map has got builder pets as well, Rex, so you can get kind of an entry-level one there. I'll show you guys a prom build. Prom is super easy to do. I mean, for someone with some gear, prom is super, super easy to do, wave 100. Yeah, it's all good. You'll get there. Like I said, you can get a pet with builder stats on prom survival or mixed mode. Oh, absolutely, Oswarlin. And I could tell you nothing was worse than trying to get an overdrive rune and just camping on endless mode, endless spires, and seeing that rune in the air falling to its depth. I've seen that more than one time, and it's so triggering. All right, here we go. First Corgi of the update. I mean, I've got Corgis already, of course, but first new Corgi. Let's see. What's in the box? What's in the box? I think that one's it. Oh, and we got a hunk of shit. It's not a 306. But it's not a good one either. What else we got? Come on, doggo. That's a good one, but I got better. The thing with the other Corgis is I don't think I'll ever use them, to be honest. Come on, Paddleball. Let me look at you. Ah, missing a stat. Boo! All right. Now, someone asked about owl targeting. Let's take a peek. I think it's on strong. But, once again, I'm not... Yeah, it's on strong. And then what? I got spiders are on strong as well. That's weird. I normally don't keep both things on strong. I usually would put like the spiders on air. Oh yeah. I'm actually even curious about helping hands. Now, I was told, I don't know if I'm allowed to say these things, but I'm assuming. All right, we're missing, we got something boosted that we shouldn't. You got to look at your, well, I mean, you don't have to, but you ideally should look at your ranges of what's getting buffed every time. I think we got it that time. We got explosive trap. No, we're still missing. No, we hit the enrager. We definitely do not want to hit the enrager. There we go. All right, now we got it. So we want big explodey trap. We want little gas trap. We want little enrager. Big ensnare and big tree. What map have you been farming, Oswarlin? I was thinking the map to farm is Ancient Mines. To get the rocks in there, too. I mean, they talk about how it could potentially get near 10k stats on rocks. Mista Mines. Yeah, gonna mix it up for some rocks. That's the way to go. I think the go-to for quite a few people will be to go to Foundries, just because that was like the official survival grind map for so long, you know? Lots of people got Wave Gazillions unlocked. Wave 1 Gazillion. I'm curious on the helping hands, too. Like, if you get a Supreme Helping Hand, what are the rolls going to be like? Is that going to be close? I'm very curious. I tell you what, I don't know if it's intended or not intended, but I do hope that they open the Corgis up for trading. Because the best Corgi I've seen so far is, you know, no offense, I love you, dear. But the best Corgi I've seen so far is on my wife's account, and I want it. It is going to go completely wasted on her account. She ain't building a goddamn thing, ever. No, they're not tradable. I tried to yoink hers as soon as I saw it. And then I also had a friend that was returning back to the game and, like, didn't have a bunch of runes. And I tried, you know, well, I had some runes I wanted to give him. This is a real-life friend back from college. I had some runes I wanted to give him, but I tried to give him a Corgi, too, to kind of get him kick-started. And I traded the runes to him, no problem, but it wouldn't let me add the Corgi to the box. It's just great. The trade option is just grayed out. So you don't think I went and got one hand last night just to look at it. It rolled Garbo like a 2-statter. I'll look at it. I don't remember where I put it. I still plugged it into somebody. And you know the chances of getting a Supreme Corgi have got to be just ungodly low. I'm wondering if the chance of getting a Supreme Hand is better. Man, that explosive trap just goes ham. You don't even see anything getting into range. When something does, it's just boom, 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 boom. Well, I mean, if you had a group of summoners, you'd want them all on chromatic gemstones. And not the helping hands, for sure. But the helping hand now has builder stats, too. Of course, they're the more of the entry-level version compared to the Corgi. But, I mean, if you're struggling at wave 350, Prom is easy target, and it's still just free builder stats. So, I mean, you can get, very realistically and very easily, get an extra 1,000 power added into your builder by using one of those. I'll show you guys after this wave the one I got. Like I said, it's not really a great roll. I think I put it on my DSTs just because it was still, I mean, it was still a builder pet, you know, even though it was kind of a junker. It was like a 2-statter. And then once again, if the waves are taking too long to run, restart. Restart at 346 again, if you're farming these. And I think this one probably will go comfortably up to 360. And then at 360 with this build, it'll be to that 6-minute waypoint. And that's pushing my patience level, the 6-minute waves. Actually, solo, we might be getting close to that now. I don't even know. There's a bunch that are really, really good, Francisco, but you can't go wrong with the owls, sludge launchers, beaming blossoms, harpoons are really, really good. I mean, there's quite a few defenses that are above average that will help you, you know, break into the higher tiers. Oh, see, you know, Oswirlin, you should have joined up with us when that first started. They did move harpoons, which is awful, because it's my favorite defense in the game, and I'm not using it right now at all because I don't have a good set of gear that's even remotely comparable to what I had before. But yeah, anyway, the thing to do with that, with the cosmetics, Oswirland, is back when those cosmetics first unlocked, Aramir and I split all the maps. Said, okay, you start here, I'll start there. And then once we got them unlocked, we just shared the save points. We'd have had you in there too, and we could have done that 3 ways. We'd have knocked that shit out fast. So I've got a minimum of wave 101 on every map already. I had before this update came in. So that was nice. I didn't have to grind anything up to get the golden stuff. No, DD2's not dead. It's just DD2 is in between updates. It's got a huge update coming later in the year that will bring a ton of people back to the game. But it's just like every other live service game. In between updates, people go and play other things, you know? I personally don't really use it very often. Use split screen for a second boosting summoner, but it's not a bad idea. The problem is I don't think you can trade. Can you trade between your split screens? And what happens with me is it's an RNG thing. All I have to do is go split screen where you can't trade between the split screens. And it guarantees that everything good will drop on the split screen. For me personally. That's just my world of RNG. You can sandbox you on an alt like DD2. You just have to buy another copy of the game. That's what Robert was talking about. He's got 2 accounts and he split screens both of them. That, and for content creation purposes too, split screen just doesn't look good on video. That's one of the awesome things they did with the emulator in DD1. Is you could be playing 4-player split screen locally, but you can make it so only one of the windows shows, and that's just awesome. And that's like built into the game. That's just such a kick-ass thing. I don't think it's the last chance to see if they make the game playable, but like I said, it's in between updates. All the nerfs they did certainly didn't help. DD2's got one big, huge, massive problem, and that is the majority of the feedback they get from DD2 comes from the DD2 Discord server, and they're not so much now, as it's been cleaned up a little bit and a lot of people left, but there was a lot of very vocal people in the Discord server that wanted everything nerfed into the ground, and then if someone said anything about it, they belittled the shit out of them until that person eventually just left the server. It's far less than 1% is the thing. But it's that vocal... It's the vocal group. You know, I mean, think about it. If you make any product and the only player feedback you get is the people that are not necessarily agreeing with the overwhelming majority of players... Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's far, far, far below 1%. I understand what you're saying, and I understand the term 1%ers, but it's like the 10th of percenters is what it is. I mean, I'm among the 1% in DD2, and I don't like any of the nerfs. Or have I ever wanted any of the nerfs? Nothing's going to get unnerfed, though, is the thing. In fact, theoretically, everything should be getting a little buff. With Chaos 11 coming, we're going to have a higher tier of gear. DD1 is Chromatic's most popular game. DD1 has been the most popular game for years. You can't look at the Steam charts numbers. It's very deceiving. Like in DD1, most players are going to play with 3 alts because they're going to do 4-player split screen. Well, I mean, they're far from making the game unplayable. It's just grindy as shit. It's a free-to-play live service game. It's grindy as shit. Very small percentage of people are going to make it to the end game. It matches up perfectly with many other free-to-play live service games. How's the Corgi farm going today? The first one was not fantastic, but I'm about to get another one here. They're a cool gamer. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just, it's the nature of free-to-play live service games. You know? But anyway, with the player numbers, you know, like if you look at Steam charts and see there's 400 people playing DD2 and there's 350 people playing DD1, there is realistically likely 100 to 150 more people playing DD1 than DD2. Oh, that doesn't make the game unplayable to me. No, you're not. Like I said, you're not wrong. There, gamer. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that doesn't make the game unplayable. Just because there's one thing you don't like in the game. I hate the drop rate on Elemental Rumble. I actually wouldn't mind the... Oh, I never said they ruined DD2 over it. I said I don't like the drop rate. I don't live on extremes. Yeah, the Corgis are not tradable, cool gamer. Or at least they weren't yesterday. But like this, right now. Well, I mean, it's all opinions. You want me to tell you what the majority of overall people would say? And this is from a decade of YouTube comments and just thousands and thousands upon thousands of DMs. They would say they ruined the game after Nightmare 4 way back in early access. But anyway, I'm going to get me a good Corgi, so I'm not going to... It is opinions. Yeah, it's been slowly dying for 8 years. I mean, that's true. That is very, very true. It's been going down slightly for 8 years. It's not anything that was done of recently, though. Someone modded your stuff in DDA? Well, you can always delete it and start fresh. Well, that's the thing. I'm not, like I said, gamer, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. Anyone who has a complaint about the game, it's a legitimate complaint, because that's how you feel about the game. I'm just saying that those things didn't ruin the game for me. For me personally, I still play the game. I don't play it as much as I used to, But for me, it's I don't play it as much as I did 8 years ago. It's not I don't play it as much as I did last year. I play the exact same amount as I did last year. I personally don't like nerfs. I think that anytime anything in any game gets nerfed, if it's not fun for you anymore, then move on and don't play it. Go play something else. Absolutely, I agree 1,000%. But that doesn't mean it's still fun. It might be fun for me, and that's where the opinions come in. I agree with you 1,000%. I hate nerfs. I hate a bunch of changes that were made over the last bunch of years. But it didn't ruin the game for me. But yeah, I agree. Anytime something is nerfed in a game, it means that the game went untested up front. Well, there they fall into the victims of the free-to-play game model. I mean, look, like I play, or this year anyway, I played a bunch of Torchlight Infinite. It's like guilty as charged with Torchlight Infinite. Every season they put out a new hero. Every season that hero is busted. Then the next season they end up nerfing it. And there's got to be, a lot of people will say it's because it's a free-to-play game and they get the money. Now, I personally know that the bulk of the revenue from Dungeon Defenders 2 100% does not come from heroes. But a lot of people will say that, and you have to ask yourself, is that true? If you got something new that came out and it's crazy beast, and it's busted OP, everybody gonna get it, But you can, gamer. You just got to use something else is the thing. Like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. I hear you. But you can still do it. Pick your shards and your relics up, move them to another defense, and start using something else. I mean, as much as pirate software is a complete shit stain on the internet... Back years ago, he said one thing that is so very true. And what he said is to balance a game, you buff the things that don't get used. That alone, I agree with so much. And then, for some reason, he thought he was God and started shitting all over everyone. Did I know pirate software worked at Blizzard? Oh, I had no idea. Yeah. All right. What are you little doggo? It's Transcendent again. Oh, wow. That one rolled real bad. Oof. Big oof. We'll get a good one at some point. POS there too. I gotta fix my loot filter still. I mean, I'm not gonna scrap it because it's still... I can find a home for it somewhere since they're so new. I mean, that's not good, but it might be a keeper. Yeah, right. What did I say I was going to look at? I keep forgetting. Oh, it was that helping hand. I think I put it here. Yeah, there it is. So, I mean, obviously it only rolled with power and rate, but it still rolled with power and rate. But I'm wondering what a Supreme one of these would look like. I mean, really, because if you think about what it takes to get one of these, that's not that bad. Well, I mean, for me, it's just all a matter of stats. So I probably won't use the hands. I don't use them for the repair function. Well, I mean, hopefully they plan on getting a new difficulty in when they can. There, Max. But yeah, that's fairly solid piece, really. I mean, obviously missing a stat, but it just makes me wonder with that one, you know, would it be worth farming prom for some of those? The thing with me with the hands, like the thing where you would benefit with the actual repair function of the helping hands is if you were doing some kind of long AFK gameplay, like overnight thing or whatever. And for me, I am always going to use chromatic gemstones in that situation. Nah, it's not. There's not a playtest available for it. They've had playtests for it, but not in its current form. That was before a lot was done with it. Let's go ahead and try to go to wave 60. I don't want the waves to get too slow. It's just so much quicker just to rebuild. Yeah, there's nothing yet, though. No DD2 playtest yet. Used to use it for barricades, just wait until barricade will kill an ogre. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's just, you know, I'm setting my ways, cool gamer. I'm 4,000 or almost, actually by this weekend I should be at 4,000 hours into DDA. For me personally, that hand is just a stat stick. That's all I'm going to use it for. I mean, we'll see what happens when, like, the higher tier content comes in, if we need something to automated repair something. But, I mean, just for me personally and how I play, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it like that. Now, like I said, I'm curious as far as how well it can roll. But that's just for the stat stick value of it. Oswarland says it's hard to care too much about its repair when it costs build mana. Monk rune heals, flash heal runes, or flash heal exist. When you have that match mana to spare, you have those runes. Very true. I don't think I've ever used the... I probably have, but I don't think I've, like, seriously ever used the ones in DD1 either. The defense repair pets. What is it in DD1? An imp? Is it the imp? I don't remember. There's ones that heal the core. Oh. I mean, in DD1, other than DPS pets, I don't think I use, or booster, like the Guardian pets, I don't think I use any pets in DD1 for their function. Other than, you know, obviously the boost pets and then, you know, prop cat, of course. Yeah, I like the Guardians too. The Juicy Fruit's defense rate Guardian in DD1. Wasn't too bad. I'm going to check the time on this wave, though. Started it at 106.45 into the stream. Yeah, the Juicy Fruit in DD1 is a defense rate Guardian. I was pretty stoked when they did that. They didn't tell me about any of that up front. I mean, I knew that the pet was coming, but they didn't tell me it was going to have a function like that. I tell you what would be cool too is, and I mentioned it to either you or Tato already, but like there's a lot of junk pets in the game. You would offer the player a lot of value just by revisiting the current pets that are already in the game. Like the Hippogriff or whatever from Deeper Well. That thing's just a hunk of shit. You know, that pet could be visited. A lot of the pets could be revisited. I mean, like, almost every one. Or at least half of the current pets. Yeah, I mean, with DPS pets, you go either Bomber or Monkey King, depending on if you're playing ranged or melee. You know, the Bombers are just, I mean, and not only do they just blow up everything everywhere, but they're cool as shit. So you combine it being cool looking with a cool shot type with crazy effectiveness. Well, I mean, DD1 and DDA has it. You know, the Corgis were all, besides the golden one, of course, the other Corgis were all content creator Corgis. There's a bunch of them. There's like that, the Waffle? I don't remember what they all were. They were all content creator pets for launch. I love the Dice Pet. Absolutely love the Dice Pet. I love the Dice Pet from DD1. Like I said, I'm very biased with the Dice Pet. I worked on a craps table in a casino for 2 decades. I'm very fond of dice. I gotta go through and delete a bunch of those to clear up some storage space in my vault or in my stash. I've got an unhealthy amount of dice. There's already a monkey pet for Chewie in DD1. That was pre Harambe. The orange pet in DDA is a cosmetic. Yeah, you win it in one of my giveaways. I do one every month on YouTube. And do a bunch on Discord and stuff as well. They're not going to add content creator pets into DD1, DD2. You got to realize, first off, they didn't really get a return on their investment. You know, it was more of like a goodwill thing they did. But, I mean, as far as a pet goes in the Dungeon Defender universe, Chewie owns that one. As far as a monkey pet. I give him a hard time, tell him that monkey's slinging poo. I mean, if they ever added in pet transmogs in DD2, I could see that being a thing, but I don't think that is likely anything that will ever happen either. Yeah, see, I should have restarted. I don't remember what time I said it was this wave started. Yeah, I don't know what that was back on the day with consoles of people being able to steal gear from people. Like right off their characters. That's crazy. I never experienced that genre or that time frame in Dungeon Defenders. I was a Orcs Must Die junkie then. Chasing leaderboards in OMD. I do too, Indie Detector dude. I mean, that's feedback they got pretty heavily from right at the beginning and ignored it. It's the hero models. They could have kept the current art style of the maps themselves, but the hero models are what people hated. In pretty much abundance. That was during my first take look at DD1 back in the day. I would have never guessed that I would end up turning into a Dungeon Defenders junkie and making videos for a decade. But the first time I played DD1, I didn't like it. I thought it was all too flashy and too much bright shit and lights and everything else. Well, no, people didn't like the models for DDA, as Warlin. That was during the or right after the Sonic the Hedgehog thing. When they showed Sonic the Hedgehog and everybody said, "Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me." And then they redid the model. People hated the character models for DDA when it came out. And part of that, and I mean, everybody's got their own opinion on art style, but I personally, as far as the characters go, I think the characters in DD2 look way better. Yeah, when DDA first got announced and the Kickstarter first came out, people by the thousands were crapping all over the character models big time. They hated them. All right, let's see. We'll let this go right to 116 so we can get a legit time. Or actually, I'll start it at 116 into the stream. And if it's not done by 122 into the stream, then we'll bail and restart after 360. 4 more seconds. All right. I used OBS time. It might be a few seconds off from Twitch or YouTube time. If you pulled up the hero menu and the pause menu at the same time, you can overlay your character and put the gear in your item box. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, if you... So many people would do that. I mean, shit, could you imagine if that was a thing in 2025? The internet wasn't near as bad back then. If that was a thing nowadays in a game, everyone with any semi-respectable piece of gear could never go near another player. Well, see, that's the thing with Grave Infection and Frostfire. I've said this a few times, but people just haven't gotten it. What was OP about that was not that they were self-procking each other. Like, the people who were leading the charge with, oh my god, nerf this shit, this is crazy, they didn't even understand where the real power was. The real power is Grave Infection was doing its full damage every tick. So if it said it did 30 million damage, I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating, but if it said it did 30 million damage over 6 seconds, it was doing 30 million per second for 6 seconds. And was self-procking off of Frostfire Remnants. That is what the really broken part was. But all of the, all of the people that were screaming about how it had to get nerfed and it was broken and blah, 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 not one of them ever mentioned that because they had no clue. If it would have been in its current state where it does that amount of damage over 6 seconds and it was self-procking off of Frostfire, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Because the damage overall, the dot damage per tick is not great good. But what was busted was it was doing the full damage every tick. Well, I think that was just Frostfire, wasn't it? Just Frostfire in general, lagging the crap out of the PS4. PlayStation players have gotten the raw end of the deal in many, many generations of DD2's development. Oh yeah, D4 with the loading into town. I don't know, man. I want D4 to be so good. But I just don't think they are ever going to get it. All right, where were we? 120. All right, we're nowhere near 122 yet. So we're still good. I was thinking the waves were taking like 6 or 7 minutes. I tell you, it's big. It actually, if you skip seasons, it brings enjoyment back, some enjoyment back to the game, Pro Ace. I skipped season 9 almost completely, and I skipped the majority of season 8. And in season 10, I actually had a little fun. I played it for like almost a week and had pretty good time overall. Well, it's way past that. It's not a matter of testing. It's a matter of DD2 barely runs on consoles. Period. It's resource starved at every moment. So there's no amount of testing that will change any of that. You're not alone there, Cool Gamer. I mean, I'm an old guy, so I started playing Dungeon Defenders games a lot older, but there's quite a few people that started off playing DD1 as a kid. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just saying it doesn't... The fact of, you know, practically nothing gets tested on consoles, any game, before it rolls out. But the problem with DD2 is more its code. You know, it's why so many games have... Or so many Dungeon Defenders games have had bugs that have passed over from game to game to game to game. And issues that have passed over from game to game to game to game. If you look back at the very start of DD2, what did they do? They ported the base version of Dungeon Defenders 1 into a new engine. That's how DD2 was started. When you look at DDA, what did they do? They ported the base version of DD1 into a fresh engine. And then built on the game from there. So anything that was an optimization issue in the base code of the base game or whatever from the very beginning has been passed along from game to game to game. Because it would cost like 2 million... Or, pardon me, I forgot a zero. Because it would cost like $20 million at the bare bones minimum to do. That's a real easy answer. It's an answer that Chromatic will never give. And instead they give answers, you know, the politically correct business answers. Like, it's out of scope. Or, you know, it's a project that would take so many years. Truth to the matter, it would cost $1 bazillion that it won't generate. All right. One more look. I mean, that's bare bones minimum. If you look up, if you Google how much does it cost to port a game from Unreal 3 to Unreal 5 on Google, it says something like it normally costs about 50% of the base cost to make the game. Well, it's rumored, you know, I obviously don't know any real numbers, but it's rumored that Dungeon Defenders 2 had a $28 million budget. So that means it would cost, going by Google AI answers, it would cost $14 million to port it from UE3 to UE5. Oh, shit. I thought that... Oh, no, we got a godly one this time, at least. Let's look at this one first. Oh, no, that's the regular Corgi. God dang it, man. I'm getting all beaters here, huh? Ah, there we go. That's the best one I've found so far. I think the one on my owls may have rolled a little higher. Let me look. Yeah, the one I've got on my owls has lower upgrades, but higher stat rolls. So that's not the best one I've found so far. But it's not too bad. It's a keeper. It is definitely a keeper. Alright, so do we want to try 365? Well, let's just see how it slows down, if it slows way down again. Where we're at. We're coming up on 127. Let's wait till 127. We'll start it. And then we got to be done by 133. Come on, Splody Trap. And there we go. I think I got it. Yep, we good. Oop. Close enough. I was off by a few seconds there, but that's alright. So, 133 would be the 6-minute mark. I just want to make sure I'm getting a Corgi every half an hour. Which, I mean, just that alone is a pretty... It's not a very aggressive expectation, you know? But if I go to a point where it's above, or where I'm not getting 2 Corgis an hour, then I feel like it's too inefficient. Well, yeah, exactly. But, I mean, that's cost. Labor costs are part of business. Unreal Engine is not costing, or is not charging people that to port stuff in. Most game development, it's all labor cost. I mean, look at... Well, I mean, look at Dungeon Defenders 2. Like, people say, how could it possibly have taken... How could they have possibly spent $28 million? Well, break it down. In their peak, they had like 105 employees. Figure between the higher ups down to the bottom, if their labor cost, or if their employees average, say, 50 grand a year, which is probably really on the low side. Well, I mean, just 100 times 50,000 is what? Is that 5 million? $5 million a year? Well, how many years did it take to make the game? Well, I mean, obviously they didn't have 100 employees the whole time. But on their most expensive years, it cost $5 million just to pay the staff. And that's not including things like payroll taxes and all the other shit that comes with it, you know? That's where all the money goes. You know, I almost said Diablo 4, but Diablo 4 is probably a bad example because I would imagine Diablo 4 has a whole lot of payoff money in the mix from people getting caught abusing interns. So you can't use Diablo 4 as an example on cost. Oh yeah, GTA 6 is going to cost a lot of money. But GTA 5 is also like one of the most profitable games ever made. So they're banking on that. There's a bunch of people that were working on the cipher, but I think everybody gave up. I'm not positive. I don't think anyone ever solved it. I was all excited for a minute because I thought it was the old secret. I thought they got the old secret going. I didn't realize it was a cipher thing. I'm not really into the ciphers personally. But I know a lot of people love that stuff. The old secret that originally was going to be in the game was the papers scattered throughout the tavern. You can actually read what's on the papers if you zoom into them or screenshot them and then blow them up. But that secret never got flushed out. In fact, at one point, they had actually removed all the papers off the floor. I'm sure the people that were working on that cipher are not too far off. All right, it was 1:33, so that one was about 4.5 minutes-ish. Yep, there's all the dials. It was all supposed to tie in to something on Arcane Library, it seemed like, from all the clues. But it just never got fully implemented. I mean, the Mesmer character in the background on the summit. You know, that's that character's... Well, it used to be that character's actual name. Well, I mean, that's the dream. Cool Gamers over in YouTube chat right now is whirling. That's the dream, man. Maybe one day there will be a old one style boss fight in DDA that will involve the Mesmer. I lose my mouse so often when I'm in Overlord mode. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, more modern take. More modern take. You know, there's just something about going into a boss fight and it's this big, huge, giant thing that you're fighting, you know? Just something that always feels good about that. I think after we do this one or get the 365, we'll just bail out and restart it. I don't know. I could swap over and do a prom run because that'll be relatively quick. Well, I mean, as far as an end baddie goes, you know. He could be like the... Granted, I am not a writer of lore. He could be some big giant baddie that shits out Harbingers. And that's how the Harbingers made it into the Dungeon Defenders, the world of Dungeon Defenders. I don't think... Is there lore tied to the Harbingers in DD1? In DD1, they're more of a... like meteor trash mob. It wasn't so part of like any boss or whatever. It was kind of a trash mob that would shoot through reflect beams and irritate the shit out of everybody. But yeah, I don't think there's... I mean, there might be something obscure that I'm not aware of, but... I mean, like, the Harbinger caused all the issues in DD2, right? Started with a dragon, ended up with a Harbinger. That, I can't remember what map it was that those things really gave me a hard time. It's one of the new-ish or newer, like in the last 5 years maps. But I can't remember which one it is. It's weird, too, to get that, Eternal Defender achievement, the map that, I mean, it wasn't because of the Harbingers, but the map I had the hardest time with was the Emerald City, and everybody else is just like walking through Emerald City like it's nothing. I had struggles on that map. When I finally got it clear, it ended up being the last map I did to get the achievement. I ended up skipping it and going back to it so many times. Mobs ignoring reflex. That, and to top it off, it was like a zappy AoE thing on the ground, Oswarlin. So not only would it shit on you, but it would shit on your friends as well. Definitely something that needed to be attended to. You had to end up throwing like darkness or gas or whatever up front to get them locked up or get them CC'd before they came into range. Yeah, we'll mix it up a little bit. I want to come back and go after a few more corgis, but we'll do a quick prom run. I'll show you guys what I've been doing. It's actually a really, really good example for community members that are not sure, that look at old builds on the planner. A lot of the old builds on the planner might need a little tweak here or there, but for the most part, they're pretty good builds. And I saw this build on the planner, and I'm like, oh, interesting. I wonder how that works, because I've always done, like, spam the DSTs, stand on them when an apprentice, and boost the whole time. Has always been my prom thought. So I looked at a build, and the build itself didn't seem all that great. Exactly as it was, but just with the slightest little tweaks, it became really, really, really good. But yeah, I don't know what people are using on prom to farm it, but it was a one attempt run to get that helping hand that I had, and it ended up just being crazy, crazy effective, you know? Feels like they're slowing down a little bit. Here we go. We're right at just past 140. Let's see where this wave ends. Below 146 is the target number, but I'm assuming these waves are slowing down. But you guys are probably getting sick of staring at the core on Magus quarters too, so Like I said, I'll mix it up a little bit and jump to another map. Yeah, I've just got that whole 6-minute thing. Like, if I can't get a Corgi in 30 minutes when I'm just AFKing or semi-AFKing here, I feel like it's too slow. That's why I keep saying the 6-minute thing. 5 waves, 6 minutes, a wave, you know. Feels like it's creeping anyway. We're about 2 minutes into the wave right now. And we're not at the halfway mark yet, so I guess it's not awful. I started watching Game of Thrones again for some stupid reason because I've watched the entire series start to finish so many times. But this time I'm doing it in a lot faster fashion. I'm starting the episode, remembering what happens. Some like hour-long episodes I might only spend 15 minutes on because I'm skipping through the boring shit that I've already seen over and over and over and over again. And then other ones I skip entire episodes. So I've ended up making it up to season 6, like in a very short amount of time. Just skip season 8, Sithville says. It's pretty fair. You know those... Oh, what do we got going on over here? I wasn't looking. Spider was getting shat on. Oh, I lost a bunch of stuff. Well, god dang it, man. What a crappy time to have to rebuild. I was only going to go one more wave anyway. I don't think that last book in that series, I don't think it's written yet, is it? However, will I scrounge up the mana for it? I mean, we only got to survive one more wave to get a pet. I got to at least slap the stuff back down and do one more wave. In a 3-player group last night, we were going to 370 and then restarting it. Oh, I know. Well, it's the product of its own success, you know? Such a profitable show. They had to make it continue. And old George was getting a little tired, not feeling like pumping it out, you know? It's very unfortunate when a original creator's vision gets lost on something. Yeah, Game of Thrones. The final books and everything haven't been written yet. Or the final book or books. I think it's just one book. So, like that entire... Or I don't even know where it ends, but that entire last season was completely created by HBO. Well, they wanted to do the typical Hollywood series thing and get their 472 different side series going because they know all those are going to be cash cows as well. You know? It's just, it's the nature of those things, sadly. I think they're doing good. I think their new shows financially are doing good. Like that, we didn't hit the ensnare our, that'll probably be fine though. I'm probably on the siren. Did I upgrade everything? Yeah, I did. Alright, let's see if we can at least get through this one and then we'll bail out of here. Has it been 14 years? Holy shit. I didn't realize it had been quite that long. Wow. I watched House of the Dragon. I mean, I think it was pretty decent. Oh, I know. Make it happen, right? What, they've got that Knights of the Seven Kingdoms one that's upcoming. We'll have to see how that one turns out. I think, isn't there a rumor, or maybe even not a rumor, maybe announced, isn't there like a Jon Snow side series coming as well? It reminds me of that Yellowstone show and The Walking Dead. Man, The Walking Dead, Jesus. Such a good series. And then they divided it up into all that other stuff. The other stuff I'm just getting a hard time getting into. You know, like I like Norman Reedus, I like Daryl's character and all that, but that whole Daryl thing with him going to Europe, it's just like, come on, really? And then the Negan and Maggie bit. Man. Once again, I like both those characters. I read the comics. You know, that's the difference between Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. I was a big comic book guy most of my life. So I knew that Glenn, sorry y'all, spoilers, but assuming everybody knows by now, Glenn gets his fucking head smashed in. But, I knew Glenn was going to get the bat and all that from Negan. But that episode still was like, oh shit! And they captured so much of it directly from frames in the comic book. The eye bulging out, directly a frame right in the comic book. The whole Negan line of hope you got your shitting pants on, directly from the comic book. So they did a lot of good in that particular time. But the dollars, you know, AMC wanted them dollars. Some generic runes, that'd be cool. What's going on there, Reaper? How you doing? And then even in the final episodes of The Walking Dead, Judith walking around with that big-ass magnum. She's a little girl, man. Come on, be real. She shoots that thing, it's going to tear her frickin' arm completely off. All right, here we go. What's in the box? Let's see. That's the regular Corgi. And another good one. It's better. It's a straight upgrade for where I've got some junkier Corgis in right now. But that's not the Corgi I'm looking for. I'm looking for something with a little bit more meat on its bones. Oh. Boo. All right, let's pop out. Trash what we need to trash. I gotta clean up my filter. Like I said, that going back and forth between the between that little alt playthrough I've been doing in my main account has got my loot filter all shat upon. No passives. Boo. Fort power rate. I mean, it's not a good desperation piece, but I probably, or not a terrible desperation piece, but I probably have several other similar desperation pieces. That is curious. I kind of want to see something. Let me see. The Pooner that's no longer a Pooner. Let me see if I've got other... I don't have a pet filter. I need to just set a pet filter. Oh, wow. Do I not have a paddle ball at all? Here, let me just do it. All right. Dice anyone? Wow, I don't even have a paddle ball. I never kept any of them. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's on a character. I can't imagine. Anyway, I'll save that one just for comparing. All right, so... go back to our ranged Warden. Let's swap Homie out for the PDS. Let me give him a better pet because he's got a 1200. Guess we'll give him this one. That's the stats on this guy. It's not terrible, I guess. That's good enough. I'm doing good. The Reaper just farming up some pets. Anyway, this is what I was meaning by still use the build planner, even though there's not a lot of... there might be some more current builds. But if you look on the build planner, on Prom, there's a owl build that's like advertised as AFK Wave 100 whatever. And the build as it stands does not work incredibly. It still works, but it's not crazy good. But if you take that build and make a few tweaks to it, then it's a whole different story, you know? Like, let's go ahead and we'll start off down here. Basically, we're going to be using owls and PDS. Oh, no! Well, the Corgi saved the day. Or did it? I can still jump off the edge. Jesus. Well, yeah, you got to set it up for the slow. The copter ogres that spawn right up there are spawn protected at the beginning, and they're quite miserable. However, if you give them an aggro point out here, it seems like they don't hang up so much. So, like, if we go with... Let's put a siren there just to protect everything. We'll go with, 3 owls there. Give them a buff beam. And then back here, we'll go with a PDS and, say, a spider. And we'll give that a buff beam. And then besides that, we'll go very similarly what was placed on that build planner thing. And we're going to go with... shit, now I don't remember what all it was using. Ensnare Aura, Electric Aura... Well, I don't know if it was using Enrage or not. Let me see. We'll see if the DU works out. I'll put those up there. And we'll give those a buff beam. And then we'll throw 3 owls on just right here. Give those a buff beam. Then we'll go 3 owls right here. Rinse and repeat, buff beam. We need to give these cores some reflect protection. So we'll just go with a siren right there. We'll go with a siren right here. Down below here, we'll throw in a siren. And we'll give it a homie to hang out with. And then we'll throw some owls right here. That leaves me 32. Like I said, I can't remember 100%. Oh, did I not give that one a siren? I never gave this lane a siren. So we'll give that lane, or that core a siren. That's 28. And then we'll throw... No, that's not right. Oh, I changed it a little here, too. Here he had 4 PDS on 2 buff beams. I moved one of the buff beams and one of the PDS, both down below. So here we're going to go 3 PDS on 1 buff beam instead. And then we got that 1 extra DU. Actually, the 1 extra DU is for a tree. Derp. And we want that to get striking. And then we just need to upgrade everything. I'll just do that on the summoner so I don't have to run around everywhere. And we don't have enough mana to get everything upgraded. So I've been upgrading this lane right here. All the way up. And that basically eats up the majority of the DU we had. So we can just throw upgrades around. I'm just going to hit these buff beams, basically. Let's hit a few down here, too. We'll hit those owls a couple times as well. And I think we'll just mainly spam now. All right. So then we want our striking on the tree and on these auras. So we'll just park here by it. Let's see, that gives us some nice big boy auras that go way all over the place. And then just let it fly. And I mean, it's by no means speedy, but it does go okay, and it's completely AFK, and it's based off of just a few tweaks to a build that was posted like 3 years ago or whatever on the planner. So don't hesitate to try out something you see on the planner, if even if it's years old, if it gives you an idea. And we still get a few copter hang-ups. It's that southeast area where the copters like to get hung up. We still get that, but it's not near as bad as when you don't have that, when you have all 4 PDS up top here. And the thing is it's spawn protected, so the PDS doesn't actually hit it, but it seems like it's causing some sort of aggro or whatever, and it's making the copter not sit there and making it come in faster. The problems occur right at the end of the wave. Of course, always at the end of the wave, right? Oh, for sure. I agree 100%. There, I was whirling. I got one owl not even doing anything. Just chilling. And there he goes. And I mean, something like this is just so strong. It's very, very 4-player friendly, even with 3 players who are off making sandwiches. It's usually at 30 mobs is where the hang-ups start. But yeah, we didn't get them. Well, now they're there. 14 mobs. They're coming in really, really slow. But by going directly with the planner build, at like 30 mobs left, it was 30 copters, or 15 copters, because each one counts as 2. And you would sit there for literally like 2 or 3 minutes waiting for the copter to come out. So by moving the build around a little bit, you save yourself that 2 or 3 minutes per wave. All right, we can finish upgrading now. All right. And I think we're good. We'll time wave 100 and see how long it takes to run. But this, of course, is going to give you a golden and a rifted helping hand. They can roll really bad, or they can roll fairly decent. But it all comes down to RNG. But additionally, as far as the stat stick value of it, it's an intro builder pet. So this is where you go to get your first one, you know? That game, that last Caretaker game I streamed yesterday, that game is going to end up being crazy addicting. It's still in early access, but it's got a really good start to it. They had an update this morning, early access update this morning, that kind of bricked their UI a little bit. So I was going to stream that again today, but I wanted to get some corgis as well. We're still getting a slowdown right at the end, but it's the main thing is the copters aren't stopping. They're coming in super, super, super slow, but they're not stopping, you know? The music is really good throughout pretty much every Dungeon Defenders game. Afshin, the composer that made all that, just did an incredible job. He's got a lot of piano-only versions on that soundtrack that he put out. Last two, once again, they're not stopped, they're just creeping slow. I'd love to see a Supreme one of these, just to see, you know, obviously it's going to have its roll range as well, but I would definitely love to see a Supreme one, just to see what the stats look like on it. But yeah, overall pretty smooth. I mean, I haven't even seen an ogre. Like, nothing has come up threateningly close. Yeah, you can see them on the TAC map, but they all dying. And same thing, you guys saw I didn't change anything, so the owls are still set on strong. I think it might actually work better if the owls or I think the PDS are on strong too. So it would definitely work out better if I would probably leave the owls on strong and put the PDS on maybe special. Now we got the hold up. Once again, they're not stopping is the important thing. So even though this slows way down, when they stop, they will stop for like up to a minute, 2 minutes, and just sit there out of range inside of their spawn protection and just hang out. So you definitely want to avoid that at all costs. Alright, or no, it's only 99. I'm gonna say I want a time wave 100. Could probably make do this core right here below me. Could probably pretty easily make do with that being just a reflect beam. Because we got like double coverage out the wazoo with the sirens right now. But that would free up DU for like a trap somewhere or whatever. I think I'd put a trap right here. Right around, stupid copter. Get out of my line of sight. Where's my cursor? I lost it. Oh, there it is. I would put a trap probably right around here if I was to do that. God, they're just such slow rolling right at the end. The problem is all the copters throughout as the map is running move that slow. And they don't spawn, they won't spawn until other copters are dead, which means all the copters kind of sit there in queue. And you get to the point where there's no other mobs left. And then you got the on-queue copters just slow rolling it out. It's not as bad in multiplayer. Alright, well, we're like 2:15:30. Like 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 30 seconds on the stream timer. I did put it on Lycan King, or Dune Eater, right? Yeah. Sometimes it's harder to tell. Like on that Magus quarters, you notice it big time, the difference. This map, not quite as much. Even on like Deeper Well, you really notice it. Or not Deeper Well, Ancient Mines, you really notice it. So it's been about a minute and almost 10 seconds so far. Probably gonna end up being like 3 minutes by the time all these copters get here. Yeah, we're at 2 minutes right now. Wow, that's crazy. 2.5 minutes now. Three minutes right now. Holy shit. So it takes 2 minutes to kill 1,724 mobs, and then another minute and a couple of seconds to kill the remaining 20. Alright, but let's see what's in the box. It is godly anyway. Where's the fused one? Oh, there it is. Here's the fused one. I mean, that's not terrible, but it's also just really, really low compared to the other ones. But it's a good entry-level break-in one. Let's take a look at the godly. Ah, that one's right in the trash can. Even still, with 376 ups, the stats are just low on it, you know, comparatively. Even compared to the other one. All right. I think I'm just going to trash it. I could see throwing that on a off hero that I don't really have a set for. But the gold one's got to go. Alright, let's go back to my heat cannon guy, even though we're not using heat cannons. He's my highest stats. That's why I've been using them for the buff beams. And I think we got time for one more Magus Quarters. What time are we even up to? It's 3:10. I'm on like a 5-day countdown with my wife's sister and her husband coming to visit for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. But so I got a bunch of stuff I got to do before then. But let's get one more Magus Quarters in and see what we can do. The Guardian has the owls. 346. Bring the siren up there. And then we wanted what? Ensnare, electric, a splody-splode, and a root. And then off buff, we want a gas trap and an enrage, I think it was. Give that a buff beam. And then, yeah, the Guardian here has got those owls. Oop, I forgot the spider. That's alright, we can just throw the spider in anywhere over there. No paid expansion. There is DLC. It's all cosmetic stuff. Oops. A spider. We wanted another spider here. We'll throw those guys in. Rinse and repeat over here. All right, there we go. Waiting for a bunch of updates to roll through before you start playing again. That's fair. I think a lot of people will come check the game out when a new difficulty comes. Thank God for the auto targeting on the upgrades. Well, I mean, if you had sets already, you just got to move them around, freezer burn. You might have to fill in some gaps here and there, but it's not like grinding the whole sets all over again. But that's the benefit when a new difficulty comes. When a new difficulty comes, you'll want to grind the sets over again to get the higher tiered goodies. Alright, that everything. Looks like it. All right. Let's see, explosive is big. We missed the auras. There we go. Got him there. And away we go. I wish the ceiling wasn't in the way visually, so you could kind of look around the map and see what else is going on without just staring at all of the all of the things hanging down from the ceiling, you know? That explosive trap just goes ham on this map with the target spot being that big. Crazy. Not much making it up here too close right now. Spiders putting in work. Owls get out here. I mean, the owls are flying all the way down to that lower spawn. Crazy. I see so many people playing Arc Raiders right now. Have any of y'all tried out Arc Raiders? I'm wondering how good that game is. I see so many people playing it. Yep, there's the Helping Hand pet there, Video Maniac, from Prom. And then any map on Survival at Wave 350, there's a Corgi pet that drops. Both have builder stats on them. You prefer... oh, it's an extraction shooter. I didn't realize it was an extraction shooter. Your friend has it and suggests you get it. I've had quite a few people suggest it to me as well. That's why I'd asked. I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of excited about that Moonlighters game. Launches into early access in a few days. Moonlighters 2. I think I'm really going to like that one. And then at some point, you think we'd be getting an announcement of new Last Epoch season. But I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure how long we're going to have to wait on that one. And then we got the... Well, we're getting all these updates for DDA. There's updates for DD1 going all the time. There's actually a community event this weekend in DD1. And then DD2 is getting its Chaos 11 update, not too far away. So there's definitely no shortage of stuff upcoming to play. A game I played yesterday seems like it's got a really good solid base to it. I still want to dip into some Division 2, which once again, it just comes around to too many games and not enough hours. But Division 2 has gotten some pretty high praise of the updates they've made to it since it launched. Well, it was supposed to be, but they decided, I think the stat crunch they did in DD2 opened up that possibility. But yeah, when they said when Chaos 10 came out that would be the last Chaos tier. Division 2 is pretty good. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's gotten like very high praise with what it's turned into. They got those expedition reduxes for the end of the year in No Man's Sky running too. The current one that's going, and then the last one won't be till January, are the only ones I'm missing the rewards from. Why'd they make Lycan King stronger? I think they just wanted to make it more engaging. It's not that bad. I've run it since. It's not that bad. Actually, the fight goes a little faster than it did. You don't have to wait as long for it like to come to you and everything else. If you could clear it before, you'll be able to clear it now. You just might have to make some tweaks to what you normally would do. Well, I mean, it all goes in steps. Like Lycan King, the main thing Lycan King, besides the Arcanist piece, it opens up Lycan King bonus difficulty. So what you want to do to prepare for that is you want to do Ancient Dragon bonus difficulties. So kill the Ancient Dragon, unlock that difficulty, and then farm Act 1, 2, or 3 maps to get your Ancient Dragon bonus difficulty gear. And then it's going to make the Lycan King a lot more palatable. You know, you're going to be able to get in there and do way, way better. and still tweaking the base. One of the community development team devs is over in YouTube chat there, Reaper, and they said that it's not final. They're still making tweaks to it, so. But it's definitely a tough one going from, if you're going from base no bonus difficulty survival directly into Lichen King difficulty, it's going to be a struggle. But you're basically skipping 3 bonus difficulty tiers, which the first 2 are very easy to skip. Like, you can skip Demon Lord bonus difficulty. You can skip, Goblin Mech bonus difficulty. But if you go back and get some Ancient Dragon difficulty gear, and then pop into the Lichen King, you'll get it. I mean, it'll take several runs. It'll take some practice, but you'll definitely get it down. You'll get it down to where you beat it every time. Like my first win on that map, I want to say it took me like 10 hours of grinding, straight grinding. And then I got it down to a point where I would beat it like 25% of the time, and then got it to a point where I would beat it like 50% of the time. And I mean, now I'm all rusty, so I'd probably have some losses for sure, but towards the end there, I was to the point where I beat it like 99 out of 100 tries. And you'll do the same thing. The Wave 350 pluses just run so slow. Foundries and Forges, I feel like, is a little bit better because you get those portals, which make the map run faster because it's teleporting all the enemies up to you, basically. Strength drains affect the boss, and Genie's Lamp speed boost outspeed the boss. Oh, for sure. The Milton Corgi doubling health is nice, but what price do you pay for that? That's the only thing. A lot of people like the whole tank and spank thing. But to use the Milton Corgi, you sacrifice half of your damage. So do you want double the damage output, or do you want double your health? I mean, obviously, if you can't stay alive, double your health is good. But, I mean, just a strength drain and a healing aura goes a long, long way on that fight. Definitely helps a ton. And then if you're using a few strength drain aura, it's even doing some armor stripping on it, which is nice too. Yeah, the fairy helps too. I don't know. The Raging Zeus stun? I'm not sure. I'd have to try that out. I think we got time for this Corgi at 350, and then we'll probably be able to do a 355 as well. But then, like I said, I gotta get off my butt and get some stuff done here with the family coming to visit and all. Nothing's even getting enraged. I feel like you could throw in another owl. Problem is, where would you put it, though? I mean, I guess you could throw in a fourth in that back row. Alright, give me my Corgi, damn it. It's a big difference from farming something on mixed mode. You know, and you get 25, 30 minutes into each individual reward. Yep, that's what I'm going for here. Sim Reaper, you're going to be able to look at one as soon as this wave ends. Do it on mixed mode, you end up timing the runs, how long it takes for you to get the run done. You know, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. But the important thing there is every 6, 8, or 10 minutes, however fast you're doing it, you're getting a roll on the reward that you're looking for. The ground drops just have low stats, period. Scally, you definitely want a boss weapon. In comparison, the ground drops to the boss weapons, like a transcendent boss weapon, can likely be much better than a supreme ground drop weapon. As far as actual damage output. No, I'm going after the higher tier one Reaper. The Helping Hand is from Prom. That's the map I did right before I started this one. That's the thing with the boss weapon farming. You know, if you're like trying to farm a supreme one, it may take forever, or you may never get a supreme one. But what you will get in the process is a whole lot of really good godly ones. You know? the final 300. Come on, baddies. Come out, come out. All right, let's see what we got. All right, where is it? I see it. Oof, terrible. I mean, once again, since they're new, I will still give that at home. But that one is just awful. All right, let me get my RS line back up again. Is that it? Explosive is good. Yep, we good. I think we can go for one more try at wave 355, but then I'm going to have to hop off here. Well, I mean, it's worth doing it. It gives you a little stat stick, if nothing else, you know? Yeah, it's guaranteed drop at 350 and then every 5 waves after. So if you keep letting it run, you have to start on either 1s or 6s, Phil. So like I started at 346. You'd be happy with the helping hands if they stopped repairing and wasting mana in building phase? Are they using mana during the building phase? I'm sure that's probably not intended. Yeah, but anyway, it's after you hit the milestone wave, it's every 5 waves after. So if you want to just, like a lot of people like to just let their survival keep running with it without having to rebuild. Personally, for me, I look at how many drops I get per hour. So as soon as the run starts slowing down too much, I usually restart it anyway. But I also don't mind rebuilding. I'm actually probably another day of farming after today, and I'll probably have a Corgi for every hero. EdE anyway. The EdE is the only one I'm really concerned with. You turn one of those Corgis into a proper ankle biter, cool gamer, and I'll use something besides the EdE. I haven't tried the Ramster can yet. I'll have to give that one a look. That'd be so funny if they could put in a Corgi, attack Corgi, and have it like specifically target ankles. Have some Corgi gnawing on a little ogre ankle. I got one Douglas too. I went and got one just to get it. And yeah, all about the EdDEs. Yeah, sirens would be tough with no ankles, huh? Yeah, it's got tower stats on it. Its special ability that it uses, it will go around and repair defenses that are in range. The stats that it gives, though, are builder stats. We got the big spooter dump here. God, that explosion trap is just going nuts. I lose so many siren projectiles putting the siren there. But pretty happy with it. It's good protection. Well, harpoons are really good, but sludge launchers are pretty crazy. They are very, very strong. I mean, they've always been very, very strong. But yeah, I hear you. It sucks when anything got any sort of a nerf to it at this point. Especially with the intention of a higher tier one day in the future. It makes anything that is currently overpowered and it would be a moot point with the higher tier. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. But they are still really good. So I wouldn't count them out quite yet. The thing is the sludge launchers just hit like an absolute truck. And they get better for having the rune, but they're really good without the rune. The harpoon is not great without the rune. It becomes great with the rune. But yeah, I do love me some harpoons. I still got to fix all it because of the slot position changes. Actually, I think sludge launchers, I have used sludge launchers and I've still got those set up. But like I've got to fix my beaming blossom and wisps. The beaming blossoms are crazy good too. The Warden's just got a really strong kit overall. You can, because there's a new Arcanist piece, Reaper. You just got to go get the gloves, too. The new gloves cover slot 2, so that would handle the spiders. So you could have a siren, spiders, and archers all fused on one summoner. Seeing people utilize her in multiplayer a lot more. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, the cross buffing in multiplayer has always been a powerhouse. You know, get yourself a tower booster monk, apprentice booster, get a warden, use warden defenses, and then your fourth player can be anything. A summoner with gemstones, or somebody running around DPS at ogres, or it's from the Lost Temple map. So the Dune Eater boss fight drops Arcanist gloves now. Constantly losing my cursor. Oh shit. Didn't realize there was an ogre right there. There it is. Can throw the seed across the map and heal someone. Is Dungeon Defender's cool gamer? You know damn well ain't nobody healing nobody. They're healing themselves and themselves only. But it's nice that that's a possibility. My group play, you know, and I'm playing with the same group of people pretty much every time I play in a group. But my group play is either one of two things. We're either playing active or we're not playing active. We're not playing active, we're all on summoners. And usually 3 of the summoners with well, it depends on the map. But on, like, say, a Foundries and Forges, we got 3 summoners with 2 gemstones for tower boosting. And then we got 1 summoner that's not in Overlord mode with 2 little bombers standing on top of the core, just blasting the whole map. That's the AFK variety. And then the non-AFK variety is 1, you know, 1 monk, 1 apprentice, 1 warden, and then the 4th for whatever they want. Either some rando DPS or like an ogre killer or whatever. The squire with a good spinning steel set is just super fun to play as like a roaming ogre killer, where you just go ogre to ogre to ogre, and that's all you do is slap ogres. It's extremely gratifying. You get zooming around the map like crazy and just smashing everything. I'm normally not a big fan of melee characters in a third-person type game. But that spinning steel set on the Squire makes me use it anyway. It's just so fun. All right, here we go. It's Corgi time. All right, I'll have some extra pets to throw around. That actually might, since like Harpoon's slot getting changed, and I don't really have a decent miner set that lives up to anywhere near where my Harpoons were at before. A nice builder pet might resolve those issues. Because I do really love the Harpoons. It's my favorite defense in the game. And I just never use them anymore. But with that change, I went from like 16 or 17,000 power down to about 12,000 power with this available set I had for them. It was a pretty big hit. So I just haven't really even bothered with them anymore. But maybe now. Maybe now I'll be able to pick the gap up a little bit. I don't think anybody's seen a Supreme drop yet. I wonder what the highest EdE or the best EdE scene so far is. Like I was saying earlier, my wife got a really good one last night. The best one I personally have seen. It's not much better than that one I've got on my Guardian right now, but it is better. It was like, it's one of the old ones, so, I mean, I'm sure I'll find a better one here, hopefully today. But it had good stat rolls on it, like really high stat rolls. But it's one of the 306 locked 306 ones. This could be the one. This could be the one. We'll find out in 200 more mobs. All right. What are you gonna be? No Supreme drops on the map. We know it's not a Supreme. That's a beater. It's not bad. Like I said, it's not as good as the one I have now. With the 1300 and 1400 bases. The one my wife got last night was in the 1400s without upgrades on all three stats. But it's a 306 upgrade one. But yeah, not too shabby. Just not as good as the... Not my best one. About the rest of them. I looked at the paddle ball already. Yeah, missing a stat. Missing a stat. I've got a bunch of Rift Corgis around that that range now. Just go ahead and bail on out of here. And all right, so no tremendous luck today. Get rid of some of this Garbo. Not a terrible helping hand, though. They want to eventually Reaper, but it won't be anytime soon. It's not confirmed that it will happen at all yet, but it definitely won't be soon. I need to get in and farm up another prop cat too, but that one... I mean, that one's pretty nice, right? 3,800 attack on it. I'm going to save that for testing later. Anyway, though, y'all, that is going to get it for me for today. I got to go real life it a little bit. Start prepping. Monday is going to be hell day. I think they get here like Tuesday or Wednesday. But Monday, I've got to do the to-do list from the wife is so crazy long. Just ridiculous. And then, as you see, the cosmetics are a little wonky with it. With the Corgi, that's something I'm sure they'll get dialed in. The saddles and the hats just show up in really, really weird positions. Which one was my favorite one? This is my favorite one. It looks like the Golden Phoenix has got a little sideways baseball cap. But then the saddle gets flipped over and it's on there too. I would actually take it if it was just the hat. But yeah, anyway, y'all, that will get it for me for today. So thanks an absolute ton for hanging out. Of course I remember you, man. You've been around so long. Been a channel supporter forever. But yeah, anyway, thank you all so much. Hopefully everyone's having a great day. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Not sure if I'm going to be grinding on this tomorrow or playing that survival game I started yesterday. But it will likely be one of the two. And then Friday, I actually have my last doctor's appointment after my kidney surgery. So I will either have really good news or really shitty news on Friday. We'll find out. But yeah, anyway, thanks an absolute ton. Have a great rest of your week, y'all. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.